This pregnant woman was struck by lightning and rushed to the hospital in serious condition. The strangest thing is that before she died, she miraculously gave birth to a baby boy. But when the father saw the baby for the first time, he cried and said that it was not his son because the child was completely white. He had no hair anywhere on his body. The father did not accept the baby's strange appearance and did not hesitate to abandon him. So he was raised by his grandfather. To keep him away from prying eyes, his grandfather raised him in the basement of his house. 18 years later, the boy's grandfather died unexpectedly. So the local sheriff and the headmistress of the orphanage came to the house with the intention of taking him to an orphanage. They knew that the boy had never been to school, and living in a basement it would be difficult to communicate with him. But it turned out to be exactly the opposite. They carefully entered the basement and found him in the darkest corner of the room. The boy was very white, had no hair, and his eyes were a strange color. They were terrified. But soon the principal spoke kindly to him. It was then that the boy told them that his name was Jerry. Hearing his way of speaking, the principal was surprised. He did not seem like a man who had not been to school. And that was when she noticed that the basement was full of books and science projects. So she took out a thick book and asked him if he had read it yet. He said yes and told her to open it to a random page. Curious, she opened the book and told him the page. Then Jerry recited the contents of the page word for word. The principal was surprised by the boy's intelligence and asked if he had memorized the entire book. Then Jerry said that he had managed to memorize all the books in the basement. She looked around and saw that there were thousands of books. No one knew that this was just one of his extraordinary abilities, so they took him out of the basement. But when they were about to get into the police car, all the electrical appliances nearby broke down. And that's when the sheriff noticed that the roof of his grandfather's house was covered in lightning rods. It all looked very strange. They soon took Jerry to an orphanage for homeless youth. But as soon as Jerry got out of the car, everyone was amazed at his strange appearance. At lunchtime, the school bully came up to him with a group of kids and started making fun of his appearance. Seeing that Jerry wasn't paying attention to him, the bully picked up a spoon and cursed at him. But what the bully didn't know was that he was messing with the wrong guy. Jerry smiled, picked up the spoon, and started rubbing it with his thumb. And while everyone looked on in confusion, Jerry stood the spoon upright on the table and all the spoons in the cafeteria flew towards it. Everyone was scared. They thought Jerry was a weirdo. But innocent Jerry thought they were just messing with him, and that was Jerry's second power, the ability to manipulate the magnetism of objects. But things got out of hand in physics class the next day.